A cursed cruise ship went sailing without any passengers. And a look at how one local group is taking back the streets of Bowling Green.
We had partly sunny skies across the area, but now clouds have begun to move in. I'll detail whether or not this means rain for your Thursday coming up in my Storm Center 12 forecast.
Police barged into a school in Hartford, Connecticut yesterday, and caves are abundant in south central Kentucky, but another thing is occurring more often these days.
This is News Channel 12 live at 6, where commitment makes the difference.
One person is missing after high winds in Mobile, Alabama caused the cursed cruise ship Triumph to break loose from a dock. Good evening, everyone. I'm TJ Parker. A Mobile Fire Department official says the missing man and another person were in a guard shack when it was blown into the water because of the winds. One man was recovered, and the Coast Guard says the missing person was involved in the repairs of the cruise ship Triumph. The Triumph has been in the BAE shipyard in the port of Mobile since an engine fire in February crippled the cruise ship and was left adrift in the Gulf of Mexico with more than 4,200 passengers. Bowling Green's Sexual Assault Awareness Month Committee wrapped up its events last week. Mitchell Grogg is here live with a look at how the group made their message known in downtown Bowling Green. Mitchell?
TJ, it's called Take Back the Night, and the organizers have a simple message.
What matters is sexual violence is not okay.
That was the message at Take Back the Night. It began with a rally at the Warren County Justice Center.
It increases awareness, and our point about doing this is to make sure that the victims, survivors, are not blamed.
They made that point with music and speeches. The rally also included a keynote address from an author who had been a victim of rape herself.
The book is not an autobiographical book, but it is based on some events that happened to me when I was 16 and pressing charges against my rapist.
After the speeches, the people here began their march to take back the streets of Bowling Green.
When something isn't right, you need to speak out, and I'm really proud that our community can do that.
This crowd spoke out along a mile-long route in the streets of downtown Bowling Green, stopping traffic in some cases, in hopes to stop sexual violence.
It was a great way to unite a lot of different groups and a lot of different individuals, and I was really amazed at how it all came together and what a powerful movement it was.
Let it shine.
A candlelight vigil followed the march.
Elizabeth says, pin us in, don't forget. Elena is our...
Was just excited to see such a big group of supporters, and it was amazing.
An event inspiring for the people here, hoping to see sexual violence come to an end.
This was one of several events against sexual violence in the month of March. Organizers say they're going to begin planning this month for next year's events. TJ?
All right, thank you, Mitchell. A Bowling Green man is dead after suffering severe burns to 90% of his body. 80-year-old Lloyd Bryant was trying to load a wood-burning stove outside his home when his clothes caught on fire. Emergency crews were called and Bryant was taken to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Warren County Deputy Coroner John White says the death appears accidental and an autopsy wasn't performed. The Bowling Green City Commission tentatively approved rezoning of property on Small House Road for a single-family housing development. The vote was 3-0. Commissioner Melinda Hill was not present to cast a vote, and Mayor Bruce Wilkerson abstained due to a business conflict. A second reading of the ordinance must be approved before the rezoning is complete. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet inspectors are examining the Irvin Cobb Bridge that crosses the Ohio River in Paducah. Reports say the inspection of the 84-year-old bridge could take up to 8 days to complete. Because of the narrow deck width, traffic on the bridge is restricted to passenger cars and trucks that are no wider than 8 feet wide. A game of Ghost was played at a local high school just in time for prom season. Students gathered at Greenwood High School in Bowling Green in an effort to make students aware of traffic safety. 15 candles were lit by students. If the Grim Reaper tapped a student on the shoulder, their candle was blown out, and each unlit candle represented the death of a student from a fatal accident. Warren County Sheriff's Department says this is helping students think about the situations they're in. The game was hosted by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Potential revenues for Western Kentucky University is allowing a member of the Board of Regents to reassert her campaign to lessen the financial impact the school's athletic department has on students. On Monday, Faculty Regent Patty Minter asked WKU President Gary Ransdell to commit to a financially self-sustaining athletic department before she voted to approve the university's affiliation with Conference USA. Minter is also asking Ransdell to possibly phase out the student athletic department fee. Students and faculty alike are familiar with the WKU transit system, or so they thought. Reporter Jasmine Taylor has more on the story.
So what began as a 2-bus system 18 years ago is now a 12-bus system, 6 different routes that operate 3 during the day and 3 at night.
WKU was named the fastest growing university in the state of Kentucky 13 years straight. With so much expansion in size and numbers, it's only natural to upgrade, and that includes the school buses.
That's probably the best description of them would be a school bus. They had a single door. They had a slightly different body style.
Topper Transit has evolved from just a ride around WKU's perimeter. The goal of the revamped bus line is to make life a little easier for students and staff, providing rides all over Bowling Green and even to Nashville Airport, making a personal car almost obsolete. Topper Transit has also introduced the Purple Line, or a safe ride home, a route that runs strictly on the weekends.
You know, we realize that students are going to have fun on weekends, and what we want to do is allow them to have that fun as safely as they can, not put them in a situation where they're behind the wheel.
Topper Transit has also introduced a GPS system, and guess what? There's an app for that. The app gives real-time arrivals for all buses and even shows exactly where the bus is en route.
And the predominant generator of where people want to go is to the university. It's been a big success.
For News Channel 12, I'm Jasmine Taylor.
Total passengers for the 2013 fiscal year have already reached over 400,000, with 4 more months to account for, a huge increase from previous years. And Marcus Bagwell now joins us with a first look at our forecast. And Marcus, it's starting to look a little more like April.
That's right, TJ. It is starting to look a little more like April outside. We saw temperatures top out at about 55 degrees, but we have seen cloud cover begin to move into the area. You can see here on the radar and satellite, we have rain that's hanging around parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and even parts of Georgia as well, while the cloud cover is overspreading much of the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valley as well right now. Current temperatures now across the area, we're sitting at 51 degrees here in Bowling Green, 54 in Nashville, also 54 coming in at Knoxville, 48 up in Bloomington right now. Now we have the dew point values that I want to show you as well. This tells you how dry or how moist the air feels outside. It's currently a reading of 21, 18 right now in Nashville. That 21 was in Bowling Green, that is. And the dew points are a little higher to the south where that rain is occurring over their area. It's going to be cloudy and cool tonight across our area. At 8 o'clock, we'll see a temperature of about 48. 10 o'clock dropping down to 45 degrees, and then at midnight, 43 under mostly cloudy skies moving back in. I'll be back to detail your forecast coming up in just a moment. TJ?
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Marcus. Coming up, the Mine Safety and Health Administration has implemented new changes. And rain could cause flooding, but it could also harm our landscape. We'll be right back. School safety has been a concern for many since the Connecticut school shooting. Tuesday afternoon, Hartford police held an active shooter drill inside Waverly School. Karen Lee has more.
Those terrifying words sent Hartford police officers running into Waverly Elementary School Tuesday, this time with the comfort of knowing the gunman they were searching for was one of their own. Sergeant Mark Vilchinskas played the bad guy in a drill meant to simulate how Hartford police would respond to an active shooter inside a school. The drill put in motion after the school's principal pressed a panic button.
That goes right to the police department. It activated the Mutual Link system.
Mutual Link allows police to access security cameras inside the school.
The camera system began to operate and was given to the people at Mutual Link, who were able to dispatch the shooter's exact location to our officers here in the field.
Meaning police were able to quickly find Vilchinskas crouched in the school's daycare.
Please drop the gun! Drop the gun! Please drop the gun! Get on your belly! Get on your belly! Keep your hands spread out!
Their perp willingly conceded, but that wasn't the end. Police performed the drill over and over again.
Our officers have been training for this sort of thing for a long time as to how to exactly approach them with command staff in conjunction with the emergency response teams.
The drill helped show families how officers would respond if a gunman was on the loose in schools. An audit of the Mine Safety and Health Administration shows it has implemented more than 50 internal changes. The changes were recommended after a 2010 explosion killed 29 West Virginia coal miners. Excluding unexpected circumstances, MSHA is on track to enforce the remaining 44 changes, though Chief Joe Main says he can't set deadlines for the changes since some factors are out of his control. Main says the actions so far have made U.S. mines safer than ever. Though there is no official frontrunner for the GOP's 2016 presidential campaign, Watergate star Marco Rubio would get the most votes from the Grand Old Party. According to a new national poll conducted by Quinnipiac University, Rubio would get 19% of the vote, followed by last year's Republican VP nominee Paul Ryan of Wisconsin, Rand Paul of Kentucky, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. South Korean President Park Geun-hye held her first national security meeting on Tuesday, just days after North Korea vowed to restart its nuclear plant. The new president wants to send a strong message to the North, saying they will not back down. South Korea says it will have a stern response to any provocation from the North. North Korea shut its doors to South Koreans working at the Kaesong Industrial Complex, a joint venture between the two Koreas located in the north. North Korea will allow workers to leave, but won't allow anyone in from the south. This is the first concrete action by the North after several weeks of increasing threats against the South. Also coming a day after Pyongyang announced it will restart work at a nuclear plant. And there's more fighting going on in Afghanistan. Insurgents disguised as army officers stormed into a government complex. They started the attack by blowing up a car that destroyed a courthouse and other buildings. It killed at least 44 and wounded more than a dozen. And Marcus says the clouds outside will bring a slight rain chance. He will have a look at your forecast next. And later in sports, see what's happening at the Nick right now. We'll be back. All right, Marcus is here with the weather. And Marcus, it's April. It's getting a little warmer outside, but it's still a little cold for my taste.
Well, TJ, I have good news for you. We are beginning to see a temperature warm up across the area, and it looks like this temperature warm up is going to be sticking around for a while across the area. Here's a live look right now at the WKU Alumni Center, looking on the north side of Bowling Green right now. A beautiful day out there. We did have some cloud cover begin to move in to the region this afternoon, but it's all in all looking very good. Our high today was 55 degrees. Our low this morning was 31, and we were just about 11 degrees below normal for this time of year. So we're looking at seeing normal highs of about 65, maybe near 70 degrees at times. No precipitation fell today and nothing so far, just as we're only 3 days into the month of April right now. Our current conditions here at Bowling Green is 51 degrees. Our dew point is 21, so that's keeping any precipitation that could likely occur over our area to a minimum right now for the dew point of 21. The humidity is 30%. The winds are out of the northeast at 17. We did have a red flag warning across the area, at least for some of the counties here in southern Kentucky. That will be lifted here in about 45 minutes or so. Current conditions across the area, we're sitting at 54 in Nashville, 50 up in Louisville, and 48 in Charleston. A little further to our south, we see warmer air. 48 currently in Tuscaloosa, while it's also 55 in Atlanta. Tuscaloosa is seeing some of that rainfall, and you can see that here right now on the satellite and radar. This rain is beginning to creep north and northeastward across the area. The cloud cover also beginning to lift northward as well, but I believe the rain is going to be just south of the Bowling Green area, maybe into parts of Tennessee, and we'll see that coming up in the 36-hour forecast in just a moment. Across radar and satellite, you can see as a whole across the nation, these two rain systems here are going to be combined together, and they're going to be moving on off towards the east. And then with that, we're going to begin to see a warming trend over the area over the next couple of days. Now tonight, we'll see a partly cloudy sky across the area. Now as we put this into motion, we'll see rain begin to move in by Thursday morning. We could see some rainfall here in the area. I'm going to go for 20% chance of rainfall across the area as we move on into the area. It will be a little cooler though tomorrow. But then as we head on into Thursday night into early Friday morning, we will begin to see a warm-up occur across the area just in time for the weekend. Now here's a look at your forecast for tonight. We'll see temperatures drop down to about 38 degrees, mostly cloudy and cool. Tomorrow we'll warm up to a high of 54. A 20% rain chance, winds out of the north at 5 to 10. The 5-day forecast shows a high of 63 on Friday, and look at the warm-up. 69 on Saturday, 73 on Sunday, and even 75 possibly on Monday, TJ.
Wow, definitely looking forward to that forecast. Thank you, Marcus. Warren County is within one of the top 20 karst regions in the world. This is causing problems for some residents. Rebecca Allier is here with more. Rebecca?
TJ, when road construction crews dig a hole in the street, they put up fences. When a manhole cover is open, authorities use a barricade, but one kind of hole is much more difficult to mark.
Would scare them, they could get hurt, it'd be difficult to get them out.
Warren County resident Natalie Phones describes her fear if her children or any of the neighboring children fell into a hole not dug by someone else, but caused by nature.
I did, when it opened up, I went next door. They had just moved in and told them not to let their kids out in the front yard without supervision.
All because of a sinkhole. Sinkholes are features seen in many karst regions. Warren County sits on top of one of the biggest karst areas in the state of Kentucky, called the Western Pennyroyal region.
There are certain types of bedrock, limestone in this particular case, that is very soluble in water.
Geology professor Chris Groves gives some insight on what could be causing the holes.
You have dissolution in the subsurface.
There is a certain time when the sinkholes become more prevalent.
When we have excessive rain.
The newest sinkhole is causing a little more uneasiness.
We had a pipe exposed, and so I was afraid it would damage someone's cable or phone.
Phones throw shrubs into the sinkholes to mark them.
So I just wanted everybody to be aware that it's there.
Natalie says she wouldn't be surprised if the 3 sinkholes that are closest to her house would combine into one giant sinkhole. As for the sinkhole in her front yard, Warren County will fill it when the weather gets warmer. And back to you, TJ.
All right, thank you, Becca. And now Alex Casper-Peak joins us with a preview of sports and what's going on in the sports world, Alex.
Yes, TJ. Up next, see some new gear the WKU football team will have next season. WKU took the series win over the Raging Cajuns this past weekend, but were unable to complete the sweep. In the first game of a Saturday doubleheader against Louisiana Lafayette, junior right-hander Andrew Edwards threw a complete shutout game for the first time since May of 2011, leading the Tops to a 3-0 victory. In the late game, the Tops tried to answer the Raging Cajuns' explosive 5-run 4th inning. 5 innings later, the game ended in an 8-6 Hilltopper loss. First baseman Ryan Huck hit his 8th and 9th home runs of the season during this series. That gives him 26 dingers for his career.
The goal of every weekend is to go out and get 2 wins, win the series, hopefully get the sweep. We didn't get the sweep this weekend, but I think we played well and we're going to continue to keep going from there.
For the 150th time on the diamond, the Governors of Austin Peay and your WKU Hilltoppers are currently playing at the Nick. They are currently scoreless in the 2nd inning. With the spring game a little over 2 weeks away, there has been talk on what next season will hold for the Hilltopper football team, besides new head coach Bobby Petrino. Early last Friday, Petrino tweeted a photo of the new football helmets asking, "What do you think?" The new helmets are chrome with a red line down the middle, and of course, they have the red towel on the side. There's talk the team will also have new uniforms for the 2013 season. Only 4 teams are left in this year's NCAA tournament, but it seems there's still a bit of madness happening. Rutgers University fired head basketball coach Mike Rice earlier today after ESPN aired a video in which he was shown physically and verbally abusing players during practice. Rice initially faced a 3-game suspension, paid a $75,000 fine, and was sent to anger management classes. Rutgers president Robert Barchi has said he doesn't feel Coach Rice can serve effectively at such a high-level position. Rutgers sources claim athletic director Tim Pernetti's job is secure. In other coaching news, earlier today, ESPN reported Sunbelt coach Richard Pitino has reached an agreement to replace Tubby Smith at Minnesota. Pitino currently is the head basketball coach at FIU. Louisville, Wichita State, Syracuse, and Michigan. These are the only 4 teams left out of 68 in the NCAA tournament. The early game Saturday will feature Louisville, who is the only number 1 seed left in the tournament, against the Shockers of Wichita State. Sophomore guard Kevin Ware suffered a season-ending injury this past Sunday when the Cardinals played the Blue Devils. He has since had surgery, returned to Louisville, and today was cleared to travel and attend the game in Atlanta. The nightcap will feature Michigan and Syracuse, both 4 seeds in this year's tourney. The winner of those 2 matchups will play Monday night in the championship game.
Now, Alex, I know you're from Louisville, so I think Louisville's going to go all the way. What is your take on who's going to win the championship?
I feel like Louisville's going to go all the way. I do see Syracuse, taking the win over Michigan and that's going to put Louisville and Syracuse matching up for the 4th time this season. Syracuse has beat Louisville once. That was only a 2-point game, though. U of L's won the other 2 games, so I would have to pick Louisville, but it's always a hometown choice. So.
Right. And those new helmets look good, too. The WKU.
I know. I'm excited to see what they look like on the field.
Yeah, it looked nice. All right, thanks, Alex. And Marcus Bagwell will join us next with a final look at our forecast. NBC confirmed today that Jimmy Fallon will take over The Tonight Show in the spring of 2014. Coinciding with the network's coverage of the Winter Olympics, The Tonight Show will also move from Los Angeles to New York City. Leno has been with the show for 22 years, but stepped away briefly in 2009. And Marcus, it's been a beautiful past few days. I'm still disappointed it's a little cold, but your forecast looks great.
Yeah, the forecast is going to be looking good over the next couple of days. One more look at radar and satellite. You see that band of cloud cover begin to move into southern Kentucky. We're going to keep mostly cloudy skies across the area tonight. Overnight low tonight will drop down to about 38 degrees. I apologize for that graphic. But tomorrow we'll warm up to about 54 degrees. And then on Friday, we'll begin to see a high of 63, warming up to near 70 by the weekend, and early parts of next week looking to see a high of about 75 degrees, TJ.
So you think it's going to stick?
Yeah, okay. I think we're going to see this stick around for a good portion of the area.
All right, good. Thank you, Marcus. And that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for choosing News Channel 12. Have a good night.